Right, so we're going to get going. So I thought we would work with shoulders and then do some standing rotations. So obviously it's like every other time that you've joined me. Hello, so like every other time you join me, just take your time, do what you can, and not forcing or pushing, but allowing yourself to ultimately settle and rest. So we're going to start on our mats. So if we come down onto our backs, so soles of your feet flat to the floor, knees are bent. Just give yourself a moment or so just to settle down, because it's very warm, being really warm today. So we want to slow ourselves down and allow ourselves to rest. So if you just roll your head from side to side, just taking note how your neck feels. And if you're okay to close your eyes, start to close your eyes. Let your head just roll to centre, and really, if possible, just being aware of the weight of your head, and know that we can always rest a little bit more deeply than we think we can. And with that in mind, just place your hands over your eyes. So your right hand over your right eye, or palm, left palm over the left eye. And not pushing, don't push down, but just allow the weight of your hands, or the weight of your arms and the weight of your elbows, just to allow your head to settle a little bit deeper into the floor. And if you're just joining, take your time. So just resting on the floor, being aware of the weight of your head. So it'd be sitting or standing, whatever we've been doing all day long. We've been supporting our head by our neck and our spine. So now we're allowing the ground or the earth beneath us to support our head. And just allowing the weight of our hands to let the head rest a little bit deeper. And maybe just repeating or being with those words that I said earlier, if you've only just joined us, so we can always rest a little bit more deeply than we think we can. So your body can be really still, but your head or your thoughts can really be racing. So now take your attention away from those racing thoughts to the back of your shoulders, and just draw your shoulders down. So the back of the shoulders draw down. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, let go, and just let the arms come up towards the ceiling. So the shoulders, your shoulders stay wide and rested on the floor, but your arms or your hands can come up towards the ceiling. So you're not stretching, you don't have to force or push or do anything in order to find mobility in the shoulders. Rested muscles allow the joints to move more freely. So the elbows can be quite bent. Roll your head again from side to side, so make sure you've got a bit of space around the neck and your jaw is soft. And then just fold the elbows, and the right hand can go onto the left elbow, left hand onto the right elbow. So underneath your hand, push your elbows down. So again, or you can think about drawing your shoulders down. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, let go. Stop pushing. Well, when I say let go, I just mean this idea of stop pushing. So then when you're ready, if it's okay, rock your elbows from side to side. So when you rock your elbows from side to side, you're just taking note, and if your eyes are closed, it's a lot easier to bring your attention to inside. You're taking note of what's happening in the back of your shoulders. And then if it's okay, just start to circle the shoulders or the elbows. So if there's anything going on with your shoulders or your neck or your upper spine, then obviously you're taking, you're doing less, maybe doing smaller circles. If everything is okay, then you can do, experiment. Do wide circles, and then reverse, go the other way. Noticing what's going on with the back of your shoulders, even noticing the slight side bends that occur as you take the arms over one way and the slight side bend through the opposite side of the spine. And then just get a little bit fancy, and then maybe doing a figure 8 with the elbows, really being aware of how that feels in the back of your shoulders. And the back of our shoulders, or the upper part of the spine, the thoracic spine, is a really tight, strong area to work into, to try to free up. It's difficult to work into that area. We only ever really become aware of it when it hurts. Reverse your circles or reverse your figure 8. Just kind of see if you can take the elbows as far over the top of the head and as far down towards the hips as you can. Being aware of the sensations that you're feeling in your arms, as well as your shoulders, as well as your spine. They might be aching by now. And then if it's okay, just stop with your arms above your head. If it's too much with your hands clasped on your elbows, then just let go of the elbows, maybe just touch the fingers, and the hands can be on the top, or above the top of the head on the floor. The elbows might be off, the hands might not come to the floor. If it gets too much, bring your arms down. Just, make that choice to decide what's okay for you. Roll your head from side to side. Then if it's okay, roll your head to the left and drop your knees to the right. So you're not trying to get the knees to the floor, they'll just go to where they go. Feel the breath in the left side of the body, breathing in. And as you breathe out, can you allow the right side of the ribs, the right hip, to be really heavy, to let go a little bit deeper. Breathe as you need to, come back to centre, turn your head to the right, let your knees drop to the left. Be aware of the breath in the right side of the ribs, breathing in, opening up those different lung spaces. Then as you breathe out, as you let go, can you allow the weight of your body to rest a little bit more deeply into the left side of your body, the left ribs, the left hip, the left shoulder. Breathe as you need to as you come back to centre. Draw the knees in towards you, lightly place your hands on your knees and just rock from side to side. Just noticing how that feels in your back. So the muscles either side of your spine are being massaged just simply by this movement and the weight of your body. And then when you're ready, just rest, come back to centre. We're going to do one more thing with the arms. Again, clasp or just touch the left hand onto the right elbow, left hand on, or right hand on the left. And then just rock from side to side like we did before. But this time, when you rock or send your knees over, elbows over towards the right, turn your head to the right, maybe the right elbow comes down and you can really feel that stretch through the back of the right shoulder. If the hands come away from the elbows, that's okay. Then if it's okay, just let your knees drop to the right. So the elbows have gone to the left, your head is turned to the left, but your knees have gone to the right. So it's a twist through the spine, but can you just notice which one of your hips is heavy? Can you allow the right hip, the one in contact with the floor, can you give that hip to the floor? Can you give the knees to the floor? And then when you're ready, just come back to centre. Send your elbows over towards the right. You can turn your head to the right. Can you drop your knees to the left? The elbows might not come all the way down, or they might easily come down. So whatever's going on with your body is what's happening with your body. Feel your breath, feel that length or that stretch in the left side of the shoulders. Can you allow the left hip to be really heavy? Can you allow the right shoulder to be really heavy? And then when you're ready, just come back to centre. Stop there for a few moments, and then when you're ready, take the arms up. Just give the hands a bit of a shake. It's always a good way to improve circulation into the wrists and into the peripheries. And then stop, and just being aware of the sensations, I suppose, in the fingers, the life, circulation. And then when you're ready, draw the knees in towards you again. Take your hands underneath your knees, just easily, with ease. Bring the knees down. Try not to force or to push or sort of resist any urge to really hurt yourself, I suppose. Be aware of your breath coming in. As you breathe out, just ease the knees a little bit closer. So you're just kind of working with your breath. Be aware of your breath coming in. As you breathe out, ease the knees a little bit closer. And the knees don't have to be together. They can be quite wide. And then breathing as you do, just rock from side to side. So just going to do some things now to work into the lower back and the hips, mobilising the hips. So when you're ready, come to centre. We're going to bring the big toes together, hands on the knees, separate the knees. So the knees are quite wide as is comfortable. Then send your knees away from you, draw the knees together, draw the knees in. Open the knees wide, send them away, bring the knees in, draw the knees together. Just kind of mobilising through the hips and being with that movement and being aware of how that feels in your lower back as well as in your hips. And then in a minute, when you're ready, we're going to reverse it. So when you're ready, the knees come in and the knees are together. Now send the knees away, open them wide, big toes stay together, draw the knees in, draw the knees together, send them away, open them wide, draw them in. So, and being aware of that rocking motion, that sensation you have through the lower back as well. And also you might be feeling that in your shoulders, really letting go of the weight of your head as well, being aware of the back of your head even being given a bit of a massage. So all of your body responding and being with this movement. And then just stop, come to centre. So if it's okay, you can take the arms wide to rest on the floor either side. Really having that sense of space underneath the arms and around the collarbones and the throat. Open, wide throat, soft jaw. And the knees don't have to be together, they're just comfortable. And when you're ready, just let the knees drop a little bit to the right, but allow the left shoulder to stay quiet. Come back to centre, let the knees drop a little bit to the left, but let the right shoulder stay quiet. Just do that a few times, just rocking the knees from side to side. So it's kind of the same sort of movements that we were doing when the elbows or in front of us. So just kind of equate that a little bit, just rocking from side to side. And now just see if you can circle, so maybe sending the knees a little bit to the right, circling the knees away from you and round to the left, drawing the knees in, round to the right and away from you, and then coming back in. So you're just, but being aware that you're using the muscles of your abdomen and you're working into the muscles in the lower back. So obviously, if there's anything going on with your back, you can bring your feet on the floor, just rock the knees from side to side. You can do big circles if you know, if you're enjoying it. You can, the further the knees go away and the closer the knees come in, the more work you're getting in the lower back and around the abdominal muscles, but you're only working a way that you feel, you know, you can do. And then reverse, you can start off quite small, or you can start off going into quite big circles. So just kind of see how you feel, but your awareness and your attention to the movements that you're making in your body is everything. So when you're attentive to what's happening now, to the present moment, then your thoughts are allowed to focus. And all those worries or things that stay on our mind, or our mind drifts to, you just wait for a few moments. So you're just with your body, you're with your breath, you're with the sensations. Then when you're ready, come to centre, just stop for a few moments. So the arms are still wide, so just as we did before. If it's okay with your feet off the floor, stay there. If you'd rather bring your feet onto the floor, back onto the floor, if you wiggled off your mat, just come back on. You can do that, but if it's okay, keep your knees drawn in, feet off the floor. And we're just going to do what we did before. We're going to cross the elbows. So the right hand on the left elbow, right hand on the left, left on the right, and just rock the elbows from side to side. Then as the elbows rock a little bit to the left, send the knees a little bit to the right. The head can turn to the left, or your head can turn to the right. Just kind of see what's, you know, play around with it. When your elbows go a little bit to the right, send your knees to the left. So you're just doing the opposite movement, and your head can turn in the same direction as the elbows, or your head can turn in the same direction as the knees. So just play around with your attention a little bit. So just kind of see what feels comfortable for you. But kind of know, I had that understanding that you're finding a rotation, a twisting movement through your spine, and releasing the muscles around the lower back and mobilising your hip as well as the shoulders. And then when it's okay, when you feel like you've done that enough, just come back to centre, stop there for a few moments, lightly place your hands on your knees, and then when you're ready, let the feet come down, let the hands come to rest on your body, and just slow down or stop for a few moments, just noticing how that feels, how your body feels, how you feel. And then in your own time, just coming over onto your side and just coming into all fours. So just kind of having that sense as well that the well-being is only improved when we slow ourselves down. It's really nice, I suppose, to do really vigorous exercises. But when we do vigorous exercises, it creates adrenaline. And when we're working with these kind of practices, we're trying to negate that. So coming into all fours. So the wrist, you can give the hands a bit of a shake, because, you know, if your wrists are aching or anything like that, lift up one knee at a time. We just do a few little cat stretches because they're always good to have as part of our practice. So we can draw the chin in, I can arch the spine, draw the chin in, arch the spine. So your gaze can be towards your knees, really having that sense of round spine, as though the back of your waist can be drawn up, as though your tailbone is coming down towards your heels. And then let go. As you send the gaze forward, can you sink a little bit between the shoulders, as though you're lifting your neck from those muscles between the shoulders. And you're going to feel that sink or that compression, extension in the back of the waist. And then just reverse it again. Take the gaze towards your knees and arch the spine. And then take your gaze forward and just feel that sinking sensation between the shoulders. And as you lift your gaze, imagine that you're lifting the gaze or moving the neck from that area from between the shoulder blades. And then just come to a neutral sort of spine. So your gaze is now between your hands. Lift up one knee at a time. Tuck the toes under if it's okay. Lift up one knee at a time. Just see if that's possible. Lift up one hand at a time. And then with the toes tucked under, just see, is it possible? Take your attention to the back of the waist. Imagine the back of the waist is being drawn up, and use that sensation to lift up one knee and then the other knee. So as both knees start to lift. You can feel the weight go into the hands, but you don't have to push. Take your attention to your heels. Now send the heels away from you. It doesn't matter if they go to the floor or not, but think of the crown of the head moving forward. Think of the space between the collarbones or the base of the throat and the knees as far and as wide and open as possible. So between the base of the throat and the knees, there's a long, wide space. Feel your breath. Let go perhaps of the weight of your head, and then just see, is there a possibility of just walking the legs forward or the feet forward, or walking the hands back. Soft, soft knees. The knees can be quite soft, and ever so carefully rounding through the spine to bring yourself to stand. Right, beautiful. Right, so we're coming up to stand. So the feet are at least width apart. So we're just going to do a little soft knees. Just rotate the shoulders a little bit, or the arms, just moving the arms. We're just freeing up the upper body again, because we're going to go into some rotations. So obviously we're rotating here, just with the upper part of the spine. Your knees are quite soft. Your gaze can follow the arms, so you're not leading with your head. Ultimately you want to try to lead or work with the centre of the spine. And then come back to centre. Take the feet a little bit wider, if possible. Now if you look at your feet, if your toes are facing forward, you can bend your knees and the knees go forward past the toes. If you've turned your feet out, then just make sure that your knees track true of the toes. So what I mean by that is that if you look down at your toes, your knee, as your knees goes forward, it's going forward past the toes. So you can do one at a time, just kind of see. So you're just making sure that your knee and your ankle and your foot are in a safe kind of space. So whatever you've decided, whether the feet are facing forward or the feet are facing out. So then from here, just bring the arms in front of you. We're going to take a breath in, take the arms up. And as you breathe out, keeping the spine up, but just send the knees forward, lower the arms. Breath comes in, take the arms up. Then as you breathe out, lower the arms, send the knees away. Breath comes in, take the arms up. Then as you breathe out, lower. Just kind of see where you are with that. And then when you're just making sure that your knees feel okay. And then when you're ready, just come back up to stand. Maybe take the feet a little bit wider. If your legs are going wider, it is easier if you turn the toes out, because then you get more movement in the hips. But just kind of see where you are, because obviously I can't see you, so make sure that your knees are safe. What I'm trying to say really is you're not pushing into your knees. So if you take the hands behind you, when you lower your hips or go into that squat, where the hands are resting behind you, draw back towards. That just takes the weight away from the knees. Find the outside edges of the feet, the outside edges of the heels, and then just come back up. So when we breathe in and we take the arms up, as you breathe out and you take the knees wide, have that sense that the spine is coming away from the knees. The in-breath takes the arms up, the out-breath sends the knees wide. In-breath takes the arms up. Now this time, as you breathe out and you bend the knees, can you draw the chin in slightly or round the shoulders and bring the hands towards the floor? Breathe as you need to. So the knees are quite wide, and then from here, maybe bring the hands onto the knees, round through the spine to bring yourself up to stand. Bring the toes so they're facing forward and just stand. So just give the legs a bit of a shake. They're just like hip little things working into squats. So we're going to go into a wide leg forward bend. So this time, know again, whether you've turned your feet out or whether the feet are facing forward, you just kind of know what you're doing. If the feet were, however the feet are, find the base of the big toes, the base of the little toes and the heels. If you soften the knees feel fine. So you're not locking the knees, you can keep the knees quite bent, it's absolutely fine. So if you lift up the right heel, send your weight over towards the left, and then carefully bring that right heel down. Feel the outside edge of the right foot, so we're trying to find that sense of the ground beneath us. Lift up the left heel and let your weight go over towards the right. Then carefully bring the heel down, so now your spine is central. If you can, focus your gaze, bring up both heels. Have that sense of the spine coming up, and then carefully lower both heels down. But can you feel the outside edges of the feet, the outside edges of the knees? If you place your hands on the outside edges of the thighs, even if you just imagine it, widen the thighs into the hands. You get a sense of wide hips. And then from here, wide elbows, space between the elbows, start to send your spine forward. Imagine your back of the waist being drawn up as you bring the hands to the knees. Imagine the back of the waist being drawn up. Let go of the crown of your head. Bring the hands a little bit closer towards the ankles, or they can stay on the knees. And if possible, maybe the hands will come to the floor, or the hands will stay wherever they, is comfortable for you. If possible, let go of the weight of your head. And carefully walk the hands back, round through the spine to bring yourself to stand. If that's too much for you, you have a chair in front of you, and you just go onto the chair or your sofa, or you can either go, work with the wall. If you're okay to bring the hands to the floor, that's okay, or you can just let the hands come to rest on the knees. Because now we're going to go into a rotation. So when you're ready, lift up one heel at a time. Just get that sense of connection to the ground, to the earth beneath. You've got the outside edges of the feet, you've got the base of the big toes. The knees are quite soft, so you're not locking any of your joints. Place the hands on the top of the head perhaps at first. So just get that sense that the weight of your head can rest. You're not drawing the chin down, you're not lifting the chin up. The chin is parallel to the floor, the throat is long, the neck is quite free. So then when you're ready, you can maybe take the hands to rest behind you. Have that sense of openness across the collarbones. Keep that sense of connection to the ground through the feet as you start to send your spine forward, 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 away from the heels. Where the hands are resting behind you, draw up towards. Take the right arm out to the side, palm facing down. If it's okay, bring that right hand onto that right knee. If you can, bring the right fingertips towards the floor or to a chair, or you can bend the knees to take the hands down. Just kind of see where you are, but try not to push into that hand. Now, take the left hand out to the side, the palm is facing down, move your shoulder, turn your head to look towards that left hand, and if possible, from deep inside, underneath the ribs, start to open that arm, left arm towards the ceiling. Take your attention to the outside edge of the right foot, because that's what stabilises the movement. So that will stabilise your knee, that will stabilise your hip, outside edge of the right foot. Make sure you're breathing. Then when you're ready, bring the left hand down, round through the spine to bring yourself to stand. Now just kind of stop for a few moments. It's a big turn, and because it's warm today, you're going to get a lot of movement. So just stop for a few moments. We're going to do the same on the other side. So let the hands come to rest behind you. Elbows are wide, move your head from side to side. Then when you're ready, find the heels, or be aware of where your heels, that connection of the heels through the floor. Then send the weight more into the front parts of your feet, because then you start to feel as though you can move forward. If I do it from the side. So the front parts of your feet send you into a forward bend. The front half of the foot sends you into a forward bend. Your spine can start to go forward, but still feel that sense of openness in the throat. Where the hands are resting behind you, draw up towards. Now that's what allows the crown of the head to come down, but you're not closing the throat. Left hand might go towards your knee or to a chair or something in front of you, or left hand might come to the floor. Take the right hand out to the side, palm facing down. Find the outside edge of the left foot, find the outside edge of the left hip. Find the centre of the spine. From inside underneath the ribs, start to turn towards the right, and the right arm will start to come up. Your gaze can follow the right hand. Be aware of your breath, be with your breath. Then ever so carefully, lower the arms, the hands can come towards the knees. Soften the knees, round through the spine to bring yourself back up to stand. And then just stop. So we're going to go into a forward bend, so the legs not so wide this time, so come to the back of your mat, or whatever you're using. So the feet are just hip width apart. So when I say hip width apart, that's just that idea, the outside edge of the feet, outside edge of the knees, outside edge of the hips, kind of in that sort of line, but it's not, we're not made of stone. You can move. So when you're ready, have that sense, you're looking forward, have that sense of long, open throat, wide collarbones. Let the hands come to rest behind you to keep that sense of space in the front part of your chest, and your gaze is forward. Soften your knees. Where the hands are resting behind you, draw back towards, because we're going into a forward bend. Send the front parts of the feet to rest towards the floor so your heels are light. Your knees can soften. Where the hands are resting on the back of the waist, draw up towards. That's what allows the crown of the head to come towards the floor and your neck to release. Keep your shoulders wide. Try not to lock the knees. There's always a sense that you can bend the knees. Let the hands come to rest on the top of the knees. Soften, you can rub the kneecaps, make sure they're okay. You can rub the backs of the knees. We're not trying to lengthen the legs. They'll do what they do. And then if it's possible, just bring the hands towards the floor. Light hands. Imagine you can lift the heels, let go of the weight of your head. Let go, wide elbows, wide shoulders. Feel that sense of connection to your body, a deeper place inside. And ever so carefully start to walk your hands forward. Feel the ground, feel the earth. Then you can lift the heels to bend the knees. If it's okay with your knees, ease your hips back towards your heels. But if you'd rather just come to rest onto your back, obviously, you decide, there's that choice. If you're okay in child's pose, make light fists with the hand, just let your head rest. And really, again, let go of the weight of your head. If you can bring your head a little, take the hands away, you don't have to use the hands, that's fine. Or you support your head with your hand. Just kind of see what's there to be done. Because you can only do what your body allows you to do. And then when you're ready, we just come up and we come back onto the floor in the way that we started. So we come back full circle. So the soles of your feet flat to the floor, the knees are bent. Perhaps place one hand on the base of the ribs, the other hand around the belly, and just let your knees drop one way. And let your head turn in the opposite direction. Then bring your knees up, let your knees drop the other way, and let your head drop or turn in the opposite direction. Come back to centre. And then just see, can you lengthen one leg away and then the other leg? If you'd rather keep your knees bent, that's what you do. Can you take the arms a little bit wider? So just having a sense of space all around your body, between your arms and your torso, between your legs and the ankles. So just having that whole sense of space between and around, above and below. And being aware of the connection of your body with the floor beneath. The weight of the heels, without moving or without pushing, just being aware. Being aware of the legs in contact with the floor, a sense of perhaps of heaviness. The weight of your thighs or your knees. Taking your attention to your lower back and just feeling how your lower back is right now. Sometimes our lower backs can be quite uncomfortable. But for now, just noticing how your back is, not how you think it could be or should be or was, but how your back is right now. You bring your attention a little bit higher to the back of the ribs and your chest at the front of your body and breathe in. Feel your breath in your chest, in your lungs and around your heart. And as you breathe out, can you have a sense of letting go of the breath as well as that part of your body to allow your shoulders to relax a little bit more. And when you breathe in, can you feel the breath in your shoulders and around the base of your throat? And as you breathe out, can you let go of the shoulders and allow the base of your throat and the throat itself to lengthen and to widen and to soften. As you move your attention a little bit higher to the back of your head. And as we started the class, allow the back of your head to rest a little bit deeper into the floor. Just letting go of your head, heavy head that we hold on to all the time, that holds our thoughts. And when you breathe in, just imagine you can breathe in to the back of the head. And as you breathe out, just visualise the back of your head widening, resting, settling a little bit deeper into the ground, into the earth, into the floor beneath. And allowing yourself to rest in awareness of this, how you are right now, your body, your breath, and all those sensations that are just there to be felt. So as we prepare to come out of the practice, noticing how you feel right now. So just with that idea of not wishing to be anything else or anywhere else, but just here as you are now, and just starting to move. Moving the shoulders, turning your head from side to side perhaps, just doing little movements to wake yourself up. And only when you're ready, just maybe drawing your knees in and coming to rest on your side, but taking your time, keeping your eyes closed for as long as feels okay for you, and only coming to sit up when you're ready.